much did you request, my dear?
Can I please get a new MacBook laptop? It's been 3 years.
And what does it cost? How much does it cost?
$1,500.
No.
Why not? She's a child.
Let me tell you something. When I was your age, and my parents didn't want to buy something that I so-called wanted, I had to come up with my own ways to raise that money, whether it was a third, half, all of it. At that time, I was explaining to Erriel how as a child, when my parents didn't agree on a purchase, especially an expensive one, I would have to come up with a way or means of obtaining it myself. So therefore, I had to start businesses or whatever it was that I could come up with money.
When she came to me with the idea of adding the movie to the business concept, she asked me if I can help her. I told her I would help her write it. She did some research and came up with the idea of adding PTSD as the emotional undertone for the story.
So when it came to me with this idea of a movie production company, I basically felt it was a bit ambitious, but I'm not the one to discourage. So my first mind was to go ahead and go behind it, get behind it, which I did. So I made some phone calls.
When E hit me, he called me. He was just like, yo, Erriel came up with a good idea, this movie script. And I was like, okay, well, you know, let's check it out. Let's see what it is, you know, see what we could potentially do to, well, how I could help to make it a reality.
I listened to what they had as a concept and idea. I felt it can work.
And Keela did the thing on writing it and make sure we had the length. So now the whole thing is getting it chopped down to a good place so we can actually produce it where it makes sense economically.
Our intention was to shoot this teaser to gain interest for investments into a short film.
He hit me like, I think it was a couple of days later. He was like, hey, we got it. Got what? Oh, we can shoot the teaser. Oh, well, great. We can shoot the teaser. That's fantastic.
Just her synopsis alone, storyline, and this teaser actually gained quite a bit of interest from quite a few people.
What pushed me to create this movie was me being able to tell a unique story and also bring awareness about PTSD. When I did my research, I read that it affects a lot of veterans, which are obviously adults, but it also does affect many teens and children.
I think that it's going to be a good look for everybody. The team that we have that came together to make it happen, Barry as the DP, guys with technical experience.
When Chris first brought the idea of Sydney's Revenge to me, I didn't have a lot of information, obviously, and you know, I worked with him for years. He's a good friend, and he's directed, you know, numerous music videos that I shot for him. It's been a really nice collaborative effort. I brought him out to operate with me on features that I've done, and he said he wanted to do a narrative. He wanted to, you know, start doing movies, and you know, had this short. I said, "What's it about?" You know, Sydney's Revenge. And he said, "Well, it's about this doll, this basically this demonic doll or possessed doll."
This might sound crazy, but Sydney's trying to ruin my life. The doll.
Yes, Sydney.
Sydney, the doll from kindergarten.
I went, "Oh, like Child's Play. It sounds a little like Chucky." And he said, "No, it's got a little bit more of a psychological angle to it." You know, I love some of the preliminary visual imagery, the falling into the pool, of course. You know, everybody loves slow motion underwater work. I thought it was great, and where that puts her, the isolation, you know, that brings to this character, and she's already lost in her own head. So there's a nice visual representation of that.
We went all in. If you were available, you were available. If not, we replaced you, whether it was with ourselves or someone. But we meant business, and that's how Erriel is. She gets right to it.
Being in the motion picture industry for, you know, the better part of 2 decades, you know, you get used to a lot of the older guys that you look up to or, you know, have worked with for so long. And sometimes it's really nice to see, you know, young blood, especially, you know, somebody as young as Erriel, putting together production company and this kind of production from scratch. You know, it's the kind of thing that you really want to nurture and you want to help get out there, because these are the next generation filmmakers.
It is a great project, Erriel. I applaud her for her ambitiousness in moving forward in business and commerce, and to understand the business, not just to say, hey, I want to start a business. No, to understand it, treat it as a craft, to where people who are professionals desire to come in and work with it and help it bring the best project that it could possibly be.
For continued support, please visit the link below.